Call this meeting of the Siloam Springs Planning Commission for November 12th, 2025 to order. Roll call, please.
T. Williams,
Here.
Sally,
Here.
McKinney, Sutton,
Here.
Renard,
Here.
K. Williams.
Here.
Thank you.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. First item on the agenda tonight is approval of minutes from the October 14th meeting. Commissioners, everyone had a chance to review the minutes. Were there any changes or comments? If not, I'll take a motion to approve the minutes from October 14th, 2025.
So moved.
Second. Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved. Next is development permit approvals. First up, rezoning development permit RZ 2512. Mr. Kyle.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and good evening, Commissioners. Kyle Belt, Planner. So the first request that we have on the table is a rezoning request located at 705 North College Street. You can see here that it's kind of in the northwest central section of town. It is currently a vacant property, and they're proposing to rezone from R2 residential medium to R3 residential 2 family. The lot itself is approximately 0.31 acres. And a future land use map amendment is not needed for this request as it's already designated as neighborhoods 2, which you can see here on the map. Our staff findings are that the rezoning meets the minimum lot and zoning requirements for R3. And the request is consistent with the context and character of the surrounding area, as well as the intent of the future land use map designation of neighborhoods 2. We received one request for information and provided information concerning the rezone, and then after that, we didn't receive any other calls or correspondence. We're available for any questions that you may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Kyle. Are there any questions or comments from the public? If not, Commissioners, any questions or comments regarding RZ 2512? If not, I'll entertain a motion to recommend approval, the board for approval of RZ 2512.
I would move that we approve RZ 25-12 for approval.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Sally,
Yes.
Sutton,
Yes.
Renard,
Yes.
K. Williams,
Yes.
T. Williams.
Yes.
Thank you.
Motion carries. This will go before the board on December 2nd, 2025. Next up is rezoning development permit RZ 2513. Kyle.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. Kyle Belt, Planner again. This request is located at the southwest corner of the 600 block of South Holly Street. They're proposing to go from R2 residential medium zoning to C1A commercial light zoning on a 0.5 acre lot. And a future land use map would not be needed for this because it's already in a mixed use center, which the C1A district aligns with this request, as it allows for mixed use and medium density multifamily, which the 2040 comprehensive plan describes as very appropriate for the mixed use centers. In terms of our staff findings, we find that the rezoning meets the minimum lot and zoning requirements for the C1A district, and it's consistent with the context and character of the surrounding area as well as the intent of the future land use map designation of mixed-use centers. We received one request for this rezoning request as well, and we provided information to the person asking about it. Other than that, we did not receive any calls or correspondence. One thing I would like to note is that the next item is paired with this, and we will elaborate once that's presented. And we're available for any questions that you may have at this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Kyle. Any questions or comments from the audience? Any questions or comments, commissioners? If not, I'll entertain a motion to recommend approval with forwarding to the board for RZ 2513.
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve rezoning development permit RZ 2513 for further permit for approval by the board.
Second? Second. Moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Sutton,
Yes.
Renard,
Yes.
K. Williams,
Yes.
T. Williams,
Yes.
Sally.
Yes.
Thank you.
Motion carries. RZ 2513 will go before the board on December 2nd, 2025. Next item, special use development permit, SU 2504. Welcome back, Kyle.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. Kyle Belt. I am still a planner. So we're at the same location, and like I said, this special use development permit is paired with the rezone request that we just heard and presented to you. The applicant is requesting the special use development permit so that they can construct a mixed-use commercial development at the subject location. Again, this is associated with the request RZ 25-13. And these were both submitted concurrently for review. Upon review, we would like to note that the applicant's requesting to allow the special use of multifamily dwellings pending the approval of the rezone request that was mentioned earlier. The proposal is not expected to generate significant traffic as development on the site is very limited due to the subject location size. The proposed use is compatible with the surrounding mixed-use area, which includes low-traffic commercial establishments along South Holly Street, residential areas to the rear, as well as some institutionals also along South Holly Street. As far as our staff findings, city staff finds that the special use request as presented meets the minimum city requirements and is consistent with the surrounding existing commercial, residential, and institutional uses within the neighborhood. However, if approved, staff finds that the request should be subject to the following condition. Development of the subject property shall include a commercial use as outlined in the letter of intent accompanying the rezone request on the subject property. And staff is available for any questions that you may have on that item.
Thank you, Kyle. Any questions or comments from anybody in the audience? If not, board, any questions or comments regarding SU 2504? I have only one.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
With doing the special use permit like this, what all could be built there? Like, I know it's limited in size, but could like 3 or 4 duplexes be built there? Or I remember talking about this in the past, that there's a limited amount per acreage.
Yeah, I think it would really, we would have to see a development proposal first. It would be limited, and I'd have to pull out the code book. If you can give me just one moment.
But doing this special permit isn't the same thing as saying this could be R3.
Mr. Chair, there we go. Chris Paxton, I'm the Director of Administrative Services. I did want to point out that a special use permit is not a requisite. When you get a special use permit, it allows you to do one of the special use items that is a part of the zoning. However, you can always fall back to the by right uses of a property. So while Kyle looks up the by right uses, the special use permit is separate. If they want to do an item that is only allowed by a special use permit, then you can condition that item. If they choose not to do that, they can still fall back on the allowed by right uses without having to consider your condition of approval.
Right, but those would be to the C1A.
That would be correct. It would fall back to the C1A use if since this is being rezoned to C1A. And since we do that by use units, either Kyle or Ben, I think Ben has that available. He can tell you some of the use units that would be allowed in a C1A.
Mr. Chair, yeah. So if you look at the rezoning staff report on page 4 and B1, Roman numeral 2, A and B, well, actually really B and C, there's a listing of all the planned uses and special uses that would be permitted within the C1A zone. Of course, the planned uses are used, like what Chris was saying, are used by right. They don't need to get additional permissions to do those. The special uses is the subject of what you're reviewing right now. And one of the ones was, I believe they're requesting, and Kyle, correct me if I'm incorrect about this, but I believe it's use unit 5 for multifamily dwelling. So you see that within the menu of allowed or special uses within that zone. So with this permit, they would only be permitted that use unit 5 in addition to the allowed uses. It's not a carte blanche allowing of any other uses that are special uses within the zone. They have to designate specifically which one they're going to go for. And so that what the idea with that is what I understand is that they're going to have upstairs multifamily units with a lower level retail or office use. And so that's why they're pursuing the use unit 5. So with that, I defer to Kyle if he had any further comments.
Good.
Yeah. I think Ben and Chris kind of summed it up about as good as you can. I can't get the rest of this to download quick enough.
No, that's fine. I was just curious if that,
But it does.
with the special use, if they could just build multiple things, or if it would be limited to what we're
If it's
would be
conditioned,
recommending here.
you know, kind of like they were saying, if it's conditioned and the condition follows along with the rest of the request, then it's going to limit them to that. You know, so if that is a concern, you know, then if the condition remains on, then it would, you know, basically, you know, limit the ability to develop the land, you know, due to the size of it. You know, I wouldn't be able to tell you the exact amount, but they would be held, you know, to the standard of the C1 zoning district, you know, for the maximum density.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Any other questions or comments?
So just to clarify further, when we just rezoned to commercial, and then we allow a special use permit, they're saying, they are overriding that commercial 1 zoning for special use, because at this point, they want to have business on the bottom and residential on the top. And they couldn't do that any other way unless we had a special use permit. Am I correct at this point?
That is correct.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, and just again to clarify, if they go back to a by right use, then any condition of approval for the special use permit does not apply. So
Right.
they can either do this with the special use permit, or they can go back to a by right use without having to come back to this body.
Great, thank you. Any other comments or questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion to forward special use development permit SU 2504 to the board for approval.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve SU 25-04 for approval and submitted to the board.
Second.
Approval on the second. Roll call, please.
Renard,
Yes.
K. Williams,
Yes.
T. Williams,
Yes.
Sally,
Yes.
Sutton.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Special use development permit, SU 2504, passes forward to the board. This will go to the board on December 2nd, 2025. Next up, staff announcements.
Next time I'm going to print the code off.
It's fine. I think they approved it with the condition.
Meeting cancellations, the PDRC meeting for November 12th is canceled. The December 9th Board of Adjustment meeting is also canceled. We have a couple of upcoming announcements that we are pleased to let you know about.
Mr. Chair, the Unified Development Code, which is now which is going to be Chapter 35, will go into effect on December the 12th. That impacts the applications coming to the commission in February of 2026. So as a reminder, that includes new autonomy allowances to the Planning Commission. If you remember back at the joint workshop of the Planning Commission and Board, the legal division, or the legal department contract had recommended that the approvals for site development plans and for preliminary plats goes to the Planning Commission but does not require further continuance to the Board of Directors. That will be a part of this. Those begin for the submittals in December. That will go to the first January meeting. Is that correct, Ben?
Well, it impacts submittals starting on January 1. So submittals coming in on December are on the old system, the Chapter 102 system, because the code doesn't go into effect till December 12th, which is after the submittals start their review process. So it's kind of clean. You just start everything new with a new year. 2026 will be when all the changes go into effect. So.
And just as a reminder on that, that will expedite review process, or approval processes by 2 up to 4 weeks, I believe. So that's part of our removal of some of the processes, and we're trying to expedite our development processes. So that was, the UDC went through the board without any comments and was unanimously approved. We also have the Planning Commission training that's coming in January. We're most of the way finished with that. It's going to look like the most of a full day. We don't have an exact date pegged down yet, but the way that that's going to move forward, it's labeled as Planning Commission training. It's not going to be an official meeting of the Planning Commission. It's going to be a public training session at the library. The general public will be invited. The Planning Commission also is invited. It is optional. And of course, our Board of Directors is also invited as a public meeting. So anyone that wants to attend that, just stay tuned for a date that comes up. I believe we're going to have 7 sessions. That's going to include topics from FOIA all the way to the rezoning process from beginning to end, just usually about 1 hour segments that go through this process. A couple of them are a little bit shorter, but we're going to also cater lunch at that time. I think we're going to have some pizza, and that'll be available to anyone that's present. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Perfect. Any other questions, comments, commissioners? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I could.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? We are adjourned.